Testing. Testing. Morning, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. On Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. Our invocation this morning by Catherine Sines.
Good morning, Rotarians. Please join me in a moment of reverence. It is good to recognize how different we are, our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, our occupations. And it is good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one is exactly like anyone else. Even our thumbprint, our voice track tell us how unique we are. Yet we thank you that we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary and our community. In our differences, we can think the same thoughts, move together toward a common goal. Bless us as we meet together. Thank you for our individuality and also for our common bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. And lead us in the pledge and four-way test, Jay Yard. You can do it.
Good morning, everybody. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the things that we think, say, and do. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Good work. I have to get back down.
Sounds easy. Not always painless, but now our president, Terry Bortnick.
Well, I was going to sprint up the steps just to show that I could do it, but then I was afraid maybe I couldn't, so I decided not to. Good morning, Rotarians. I hope everyone is dry and well today. We beat the rain, so maybe we'll get out of here before it strikes back up. Few things to take note of. I neglected last week. Rich had asked me to mention the annual district meeting. The District 6630 meeting is April 25th and 26th at the Sheraton in Cuyahoga Falls. So if anyone's available, it's a good thing to attend. It's informative, and you get to meet some of the other people from some of the other groups. So keep that in mind and maybe put that on your calendar. Board of Directors, don't forget, we are going to switch our meetings to the first week of the month as of next week. We all discussed this. So Board of Directors meeting next week. The foundation will still keep theirs on the third week, but we're going to switch ours from the second week to the first week for the time being anyway. Freedom House in Kent is our beneficiary of our donations this month. This will be the last week for that. It is the transition facility for homeless veterans. So what they need are things to personal hygiene items, non-perishable goods, things that they can use to help these guys get back on their feet, guys, women, to help them get back on their feet and hopefully get them back into gear and get them into leading good, solid, productive lives. And don't forget those of you who signed up, and I will send an email out regarding the four-way speech test. I'll send out a reminder for the dates and times of that, but that will be on March 12th at Western Reserve and March 14th at the Hudson High School. So if you signed up, don't forget about that. And again, I'll send out a reminder email. Okay, and now I will pass this along. What? Oh, we have service. Right. Good morning. How are you today? I'm great. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. Really quickly update on the class. We just finished our interviews for next year. So we have a class of 90 that's getting ready to go. They had their acceptance letters sent out on Friday. And so now we're getting into like scheduling and all of that stuff. So we are ready to go for almost ready to go for next year's class. But going back to this year's class, I have the pleasure today of introducing Violet Tuttle, who is one of our amazing PM students.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, my name is Violet Tuttle. I've always wanted to be a part of service learning. My sister, she's 4 years older than me, and she was one of the service learning students in the graduating class of 2021. So when the applications came out my junior year, I learned later I was actually the first applicant for service learning for this school year, because I was just very excited to get the opportunity to join such a really powerful and impactful class like this. The service learning teachers, for me at least, did an incredible job placing me where they knew I would be able to really flourish in service. I am a athletic coach for children ages 3 to probably 13. And I have been coaching kids for a very long time. And so my first semester, the service learning teachers placed me at Ellsworth Hill Elementary School. I was in Mrs. Morale's class. And it was one of like the best experiences I've ever had. I really got to build a connection with all of my students and get to know the kind of the behind the scenes work of a teacher, which I had never really experienced before. And I don't really have an interest in being a teacher when I'm older, but I want to work with children. And so it was really a fantastic experience for me to be able to grow in that sort of field. I'm sure, as you guys know, we do projects at the end of a semester for our current site. I did not do anything to kind of help the inner workings of that classroom, because Mrs. Morale has been teaching at Hudson for a very long time, and she has a very consistent regimen that I don't want to influence. So at my first semester site, I painted a mural. It says, "Your attitude determines your direction," and it goes above some of the cubbies in one of the hallway. And that was my kind of way to, one, leave my my mark on the school, because I was a student there. I coached there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for tennis, and now I got to help in a classroom with a lot of kids who mean a lot to me. So that was my project for that year. I wanted to help remind the students of the importance of attitude and the importance of being grateful and understanding what their behavior does on their day. And then my second semester, I now am at Kent Social Services. It's a food pantry in Kent. And I was put here because Mr. Cosman and, well, actually all of the service learning teachers, but Mr. Cosman specifically, really just wanted to give me a chance to get to do some real impactful work with people who I've not worked with before. And working at Kent Social Services has actually, I was a little apprehensive at first, but it has been a really eye-opening experience, and I wouldn't want to be working anywhere else. The people who work there are just really incredible people, and the work we do is truly impactful to people's lives. If you need food, we will give it to you. And it's really great to see a community of people who, no matter the situation, no matter the circumstance, they will give you what you need. If you aren't in their region, they're not supposed to always give you pantries, but they have a motto that's, if you aren't going to have food tomorrow, you will have food today, because they will give it to you. And so I'm also painting a mural there, which seems to be a pretty common theme with me. It says "Squeeze the Day," because we it has to be food related because they're a food pantry. Squeeze the day with lemons and limes and oranges. It was not my idea, but I like it. And yeah, it's just, I have been working to increase relations with other food pantries around the regions. I've called, I recently just updated our entire portfolio of the other food pantries and food banks around Kent. And they asked me to tell you that they take donations from any community in any way. And so they wanted me to let you guys know that. And I guess that's all I have to say. What am I doing? Oh, I'm majoring in neuroscience because I plan to be a pediatric surgeon when I finish undergrad and med school. That's been the plan for a very long time. So I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple of colleges, but right now it's looking like I'll be attending Virginia Tech in the fall. Go Hokies.
Good morning, Rotarians. So I do want to thank you for having me here so early because it actually worked out perfectly. I walk my dog every morning and we walked back in the house and the thunder and lightning went nuts and the rain started falling. Had it been a normal Hudson high school day, I would have gotten soaked. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. And as you can probably tell, especially looking at me, this is Hawaiian themed day at Hudson High School. I chose the shirt that I have that is most Hawaiian. And those, you've known me long enough to know that tracks completely. I do want to let you know, and this is an opportunity you are all welcome to, and we'd love to see you. We've got our spring trip planned, and we actually moved it up because our original dates basically coincide with when they graduate this year. We pushed it back. We always have it either before or after the AP test because we don't want to conflict with that AP week. And so it will be April 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, tax day, and then the next two. And so we will be kind of out of Camp Ledgewood like we've been in the last few years. And on that Monday, we have an awesome opportunity to Ricky Smith, who it's kind of a common name, so I'm not sure that you will necessarily have heard of him, but he started a foundation called Rake. It's Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere. Basically, he was in LA living out of his car. His car got possessed. He was sleeping on people's couches. He got a bike. His bike got stolen. In essence, he was down to his final $20, and he decided to take that $20 and throw a pizza party and feed as many homeless people as he could. And then he decided to try and make this a thing, which he absolutely did. If you look him up on the internet, you'll have no trouble finding him. He's got a piece in Parade magazine. He's been on talk shows. I think even Drew Barrymore had him on, if I remember correctly. He's on local news all over the place, and he basically hops in an RV and goes out and feeds people. So he'll be coming to Camp Ledgewood with us on Monday, that April 15th. We'll be making sandwiches and making lunches to pack and packing them up, and then actually taking them to deliver them to a couple of places. The other really cool thing about this is Western Reserve Academy. Some of their students will be joining us, as well as hopefully some students. We're still trying to figure it out and coordinate, but hopefully some students from North Hill High School as well, trying to bring the three districts together again and have that opportunity, that unique opportunity to not only serve others by making the sandwiches and the lunches, but also then distributing them, taking them and giving them to people. So we think that's a great opportunity. Tuesday and Wednesday will be kind of more traditional for what our Camp Ledgewood trips look like. One day for the students will be the Amish experience. We'll take that bus down to Amish country, and of course you're welcome to come to that as well. And then the other day will be a service day around kind of the area, oftentimes outdoors, Richmond Heritage Preserve, bunch of other places as well. So we'd love to have you, even if it's just stopping by for a meal or just to say hi or whatever that might look like. We'll have evening activities Monday night and Tuesday night. We'll have dinner Wednesday night. It will all be great food. We oftentimes bring in that food from the North Hill neighborhood, supporting those local and cultural businesses. In terms of the student I want to present, it's Lindsay Peterson. Brittany and I both have her in our morning class, and she really, what I think is so special about her is she is never going to ask for recognition, and yet she deserves to be recognized. She has been one of our most outstanding community servants this year. And actually both of them, I would put them both at the top. And one of the things I think is so special about Lindsay is first semester she was at Helen G. Arnold Elementary School working with students with special needs in a classroom. So she's in an Akron City school, which is already a more complex placement for our students. And then second semester, we needed somebody that we knew, not only that we could trust, but also could handle pretty heavy stuff potentially. And so she came to mind. Actually, both of them came to mind for this one as well. But Lindsay won the lottery, or maybe she'll stand up here and tell us she lost the lottery. We'll see. And she's actually at the Rape Crisis Center working with them. So kind of two unique experiences for her.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Peterson, and unlike Violet, I'm the first of my family to go through the service learning program. Yes, my brother interviewed a few weeks ago, and he's decided he's going to join service learning next year, which I'm really excited about for him. But as Mr. Crossman said, last semester I was at Helen G. Arnold, which is an elementary school in Akron, and I worked with fourth and fifth graders. But not only did I learn from this experience that I want to pursue a career in elementary education, but I also got to experience the dynamic of a classroom where each student had an IEP and or a 504 plan. So I was very grateful for that experience. Every Wednesday when I walked down that hallway, my classroom was at the end of the hallway, but this little girl, Armani, would always come out of the classroom, run over and say, "Miss Lindsay, I knew you'd be back." And although I didn't teach her and didn't have much experience in a classroom with her, it warmed my heart that she was always so excited to see me. This semester, I am at the Rape Crisis Center at the University of Akron. And basically, I'm just learning how a business runs. I've been doing a lot of research on teen dating violence awareness for the month of February. So me and my site supervisor have been working on a conference meeting that's basically just informative on teen dating violence and signs to know if your relationship is toxic or not toxic. So we presented that on Valentine's Day, actually, and it went well. So that was great. But next year, I'm planning to head to the University of Cincinnati, where I will major in elementary school education. So yeah, I'm very excited. Not only has service learning helped me improve my communicative skills and has prepared me for the real world, but it has also taught me integrity and to put others before myself. Yeah, that's all. Mhm.
So thank you so much, and we'll of course be here afterwards if people want to get to know us or our students better. Thank you so much.
Good job. Good job.
So proud of our students. I mean, every month when we get them coming in, it just shines so positively on our school district. We get a little taste, and you know what they're telling you is only just like some facets of their education. I'll mention because I'm sure Violet's too shy, but Violet, my wife and I are big fans of the boys and girls tennis team, and Violet, I'm proud to say, was a state qualifier in for doubles in tennis this year. So we're very proud of what you, but proud of all the students. Thank you. So we have our speaker this morning is Dana Addis. Dana has been with us for 1 year and 3/4 now. Is that right? Yeah. Superintendent of the Hudson Public Schools. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about his background. But while he's coming up here, I just got to mention one thing that I was reflecting on this morning when Jay was doing the Pledge of Allegiance. One of the cool things that we instituted, I think probably on Dana's watch, was we have a group of kindergartners who come at the beginning of each school board meeting and deliver the Pledge of Allegiance for us. It is fun, it's cute, it's great. Their parents come too, and it's just such a positive experience. And like the four-way test, which sets the stage for how our meetings are going to go and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves during the week, I think it gets our meetings off on the right foot too. So here, let me introduce you to Dana Addis. Okay, down here. Okay. Is that good with you, Noah? Okay, very good.
Hey, good morning. Catherine's been to many school board meetings, so she understands when I say when the little kids do the Pledge of Allegiance, it's the best part of the entire meeting. It really is. And the board members say that as well. I saw Violet so many times in Mrs. Smoral's class. I don't know if you know Rose Smoral or had any family members go through her classroom. Just an amazing teacher, just like so many of our people in Hudson City schools. And Lindsay, to hear you say when you're going into Akron and that little child is so excited to see you, I will tell you that's why we go into this profession. So now for me to go into McDowell and have a kindergarten student say, "Hi, Mr. Addis," that's all I need for the entire day. No matter what happens, when we have these little kids that say hi to us and use our names, it just reminds us of why we do it. Quickly, who watched the end of the Cavs game last night? Anyone? All right. If you did not, you need, what's that? You need to watch it somehow on the computer today. I won't say anything to you, but it was, I've been an NBA fan probably for 40 years. It was one of the best 2 minutes I've ever watched in my entire life. So make sure you catch on to that. I know you guys have only been out of school for a couple of years, but I wonder what you remember about school. When I ask you that question, what do you remember the most? You're likely thinking of a teacher right now. You're likely thinking of friends, experiences. You likely are not thinking about a math test or a poem that you analyzed. These are things that we are required to do for our kids, but it's the experiences that come with school that really, in my world, thank you. Thank you. You guys have a heck of a tech person here, right? Yeah, he handles everything. So that's really what this presentation is about. I'm going to go just a tiny bit into a couple of previous experiences before I get to Hudson, but I want you to see our kids at Eastwoods, and you can just look at this picture and feel what it's like to be together as one. And I appreciated Catherine's comments about the individuality of every single person, but their strength in bringing all of those individuals together. It's one of my favorite pictures of the year. Just look at those kids, all Hudson Explorers. All right, Noah. So we will continue to work on district slogans and messaging. I want to share that I was working on this presentation trying to figure out what does district messaging and benefits do for communities, school districts? And so it may look like I worked incredibly hard on all of these things to try and figure out what district messaging does. But you know where I found communicating values, brand identity, public relations? I'll give you this. All right. I need a J-Lo mic, like the Halo. These came from Chat GPT. I asked the question to OpenAI, and these are the answers, and they're exactly spot on. And all of these things are important. We have current and former board members here. I will share that the idea of you communicating your values to people who support your school district are really important. People deserve to know the messaging you are providing for your students. So we do that. All right, Noah. So just a quick note, I was a building principal at Highland High School in Medina County, one of my favorite places, one of my favorite positions, very similar to Hudson, driven kids, focused families, high expectations for the school. However, the kids were missing something. We were talking about the fact that they could probably close their eyes and do well on state testing. Like our kids, really smart kids, perform well on state testing, but there was something missing. And so we came up with a made up word called year potential. And it really was about reaching your potential this year. Not just coming back to school and having classes and meeting teachers, but think about this year as being the time where you max out on your potential as a student in your sports, in your academics, in your arts, anything that you do, your friendships. Don't just come back to school, but reach your potential. And then the other year that I would talk about briefly is building your brand. We were running into a time there where it was a rough time for students and phones. And we were seeing some things that we would not want them to put on phones or embark in those conversations, that type of hatred, these kinds of pictures. And we started talking about things like digital footprint, that whatever goes out on social media is going to be there forever. And so build your brand became our theme. What was great about it is we had something else in the lives of these kids that they could consider and think about. All right, Noah. And then 5 years at Norton as the superintendent, we took this idea. I don't know if you know much about Norton, but it is smack dab in the next to Wadsworth, which is a town that has blossomed in the last 20 years. Business, residents. It's just south of the Montrose area. And if you know much about Montrose, the last 30 or 40 years, it has exploded. And Norton has primarily stayed the same. Amazing people, but has stayed the same. So there's a little identity there of who we are, what do we stand for, good solid schools, great hardworking people. And the kids actually worked with me on the idea of the unification of that school district was going to be We Roar Together. And so 1920 was our first year of We Roar Together. You can see, I tell people these are really important pictures for us. Down here at the bottom, when you can unify your bus drivers to all wear the same shirts and to smile like that, you know as a district, because bus driving is a really challenging position, super challenging. It's hard on morale. The kids sometimes feel like it's a place where they can say and do whatever they want. And so we have a deep appreciation for the people who do that. They took the time out to smile and join us. That told me we were doing okay with this, that we were unifying the district a little bit. And it went so far, this picture of gardening, we got a grant from GAR and we just decorated the Norton Park, and it was just a coming together of community, and We Roar Together really stood for the entire town. Everyone grabbed onto that. And the one thing I will tell you is 1920 was our year and we were flourishing, and we all know what happened in March of 2020. And so we were home for the rest of the year, and the kids came back to me that summer when I talked to them about another theme, and they said, we have unfinished business with We Roar. So it remained. All right. You guys all know about Hudson. Again, I took this presentation. I was fortunate to attend a conference and do this. We are a AAA school district. Some schools like to say that. We truly are. Academics, arts, and athletics. Our students, our advisors, our teachers, we excel in all of them. So I just touted the district. I don't need to do that here because you support us. We're thankful for that. You understand the quality of students that are in our hallways every single day, the quality of staff, the buildings that all of you support. It's a wonderful place. All right, Noah. So our Portrait of an Explorer was a community, staff, Board of Education presentation or endeavor that began in 2018, maybe perhaps finished in 2019. And so it really never got off the road, got into the district because of COVID. So during interviews for the next superintendent, the board made it very clear, this is something that we want in our school district. We want every student to know all of these qualities, these characteristics. This is our district's North Star. When we think about anything that we are doing as a district, we think about Portrait of an Explorer. And here's what I love about this. And I came and met with the board to potentially be the next superintendent. And I wasn't just telling them that this was a pretty amazing document so that I could end up working here. I looked at all of these 6 qualities and believed wholeheartedly in every single one of them. And we have 2 of our students here today, and obviously many adults. Think about which of these have been a part of your life as an adult, whether it's as a parent, as an employee, as an individual. And I knew of none of these when I was a high school student. Now, here's what I do every single day. I'm lower left. I'm an adaptive problem solver as a school superintendent. I feel like that's what I do. Don't we, Philip? We are adaptive problem solvers every single day. I'm glad to be here. I have no idea what's waiting for me when I drive back to the district, but we will work hard at it. So my take on this for all of you is, I think it's so beneficial for our kids to get a little taste of this while they're in school, because they understand what it means to be a critical thinker or a lifelong learner, all of this. And so you see the unification of our kids. These are all our high school kids in the lower right, visiting Ellsworth. To me, it's been one of the best things about our 6 portrait days is that our older kids, maybe you guys realize this, maybe you don't. When our older kids go into our elementary buildings, they are heroes. They look up to them as if they are Hollywood stars, and they can't wait to see them. They can't wait to be there. I'll never forget, I told so many people this story. We had a graduate, Jack Jenkins, who graduated last year. Jack is at that school up north. I refuse to say the name, playing field hockey, but obviously so accomplished. Or lacrosse, that's right, playing lacrosse. So Jack was at McDowell last year when I walked in, and he literally had 10 kids hanging all over him just because of who he was, and he was a senior in our district. So the collaboration is part of our Portrait of an Explorer days, and we love it. Okay, so all of these are things that we want our kids to know. I hope you guys, even in a small way, have a little understanding of these. Our little kids, the parents tell me they put these T-shirts out on their beds the night before because they're so excited for portrait days. I don't know that our high school kids are that excited for the days. Here's what they tell me. Mr. Addis, I have the shirt on under my hoodie. This is what they tell me, but I'm not sure that that's the case. All right. So speaking of our little kids, I want you guys to all know the type of teacher that we have in our school district. So our elementary teachers saw the Portrait of an Explorer and said, our students at our elementary are not going to understand that language. And so on their own met and put together new language that basically our pre-K through fifth grade students would better understand. And that's the type of dedication that we have and that you support in our school district. So these are the same things, but our little kids, like adaptive problem solving, our little kids can understand, I can keep trying even when things are hard. All right, which is something that's big in schools right now. We're working on grit and resilience. We don't want that to ever go away from our kids. And I think our kids get a little bit of a reputation now that they're not as gritty as we used to be. So we want to remind them how important that resilience is. All right, Noah, thank you. We embarked upon a strategic plan. We just finished it. The board approved it in August. This was a board initiative. These are the 5 things that we're working on every single day. And all of these are tied to our Portrait of an Explorer, our North Star. So every single one of these are things that our daily work as educators, staff members, it doesn't matter what position you have. We have an incredible maintenance team at Hudson that cares deeply about what our buildings look like, interior, exterior. And so they primarily fall under uphold operational excellence. Philip Budo's our treasurer here. Philip is, given direction by the board to make sure he is taking great care of the finances of the district, and that is uphold operational excellence. So obviously, just so you know, no school district just spends. We are one of those businesses that looks at every single penny, sometimes ad nauseum, but we know we want to protect our supporters' taxpayer dollars. So all of these things are important. 3 may be the most important thing for schools. The people you bring in to work with your kids, it's the single most important thing that we do. So we take hiring to the next level. How many rounds, how many people are involved, the questions. I just know in my own process and meeting with the board, the application began in December and the position was offered in March. It was a 3-month process. So we work really hard at that. Okay, thank you, Noah. So here was last year, Explorer University. We worked with Hudson Community First at our high school. The kids felt they wanted to have a little bit of a collegiate feel to it. So that was last year. Again, look at the faces. Like the thing that I notice when I look at these pictures includes all of the smiles and all of the attention. So some of my favorite faces in the entire world are up on this screen, and you look at the activities of our kids. So that was last year. We had a great year. And then this year, Noah, is Never Stop Exploring. Our goal with Never Stop Exploring was for our students to have a new day every single day. And if Calculus BC was really hard right now in their lives, they would just keep going. If they were struggling in a friendship with someone, they would never stop. They would just keep going. If they wanted to be first chair in the orchestra and they weren't, never stop exploring. Keep going. Keep trying to be that person that you want to be all of the time. And that's what Never Stop Exploring is. It's the same thing for our staff members. If you've not worked in a school, it's so hard to explain the challenges of proximity, the challenges we have two of our teachers here. It's so amazing to have kids come in your classroom every day, but it is so challenging at the same time. Routine can dig in, proximity can dig in. And so you have to reinvent yourself and re-energize yourself constantly in this profession. There's nothing quite as rewarding as being an educator. It's an amazing profession, but when it's done right, it's challenging. And our great teachers and our great students with teachers that they respect will tell you it's really hard. So that's Never Stop Exploring. This is us. We're dedicated to excellence in education. There's all of the ways that you can see us and contact us. This campus culture and community is a highlight video we did last year. If you YouTube that, it's an amazing 12 minutes of who we are at Hudson City Schools. So it's fantastic. That is Portrait of an Explorer. It's what we are, who we want our kids to remember all of these 6 traits. Okay, that was a lot. What questions do you have for me? What was the question? You mean if they feel like it's just a constant push? Yes. So we do feel like we have a large number of classroom activities, of building activities, places where our kids can go when they do just need to relax. The idea of getting better every single day is something that's important, but it's never a push. And maybe the kids could even say that it's never a push where it becomes exhausting. So it is mild, it is temperate. We do choose to have some celebrations on these 6 days, but like the critical thinking part usually is just calm, quiet, understanding how your mind works, how to look at things. So maybe it seems like this ton of energy and constant push, but it's going at a good speed.
So I was going to ask who was your favorite board member, but I didn't want to embarrass Tom and the other board members. So actually what I was going to ask is related to COVID, that had an impact both on learning depending on your grade level,
Yeah.
and an impact on socialization. And I'm just wondering, if you feel it's come back, and also if the teachers.
Yeah, we do feel like we are back. We feel like we still have concerns about some of the students who really needed the social aspect of school and spent time at home. Their ability to bounce back and be with people again. I would be lying to you if I told you every single grade level student who went through that in our country has bounced back. They have not. And so the isolation of that time was really challenging. I just talked to a dad who feels as if he lost his son. Someone who lives in Alabama because of that. It went from this vivacious, cultural person to someone who just spent time in his room and he's having trouble getting him back. So we're working hard at it. We're back at school. We're back with service learning and New D and H2B2 and medical detectives at our middle school. Our kids are talking, they're meeting. We're back having sports. We're back at community events, but we haven't quite gotten every single student back. The big thing that we worried about the most were our younger kids who lost some executive functioning skills. They didn't experience how to raise your hand, how to stand in line, how to not just talk out, which are pre-K, K, first grade. So those students really were getting to 3rd, 4th grade and were really struggling with classroom behavior, but we're getting back.
Okay, I'm gonna maybe change the subject. A
Yeah.
little bit of focus on the parents and your work with the parents in the community, especially those that feel strongly about what curriculum should the children you should be have in the schools, and kind of being kind of assertive about which is taught in schools.
Yeah. So I will share with you, we have to do more than we've ever had to do. Schools are that place where if there is something in our world that the politicians feel like we need or we're not doing well, we are the place that is that societal push to do it. We have a large number of unfunded mandates in our profession where they ask us to do these. We have a couple right now involving, literacy, and the next one that's coming is the science of reading. So whereas there may be some questions about curriculum, we are a standards-based profession. And we teach based on the standards that are provided, whether they're at the federal level or state level. And so I would say that's the conversation I would have with people. I know people sometimes will want us to stick to the basics. I don't always know what that means. And one of the things that I've done for 33 years is when one of these students comes to me with an issue, as an educator, I'm going to help them. And so that finds its way into schools as well. And we are obligated as human beings to help children. So our curriculum is standards-based, but we feed kids. We make sure kids, we have homeless students throughout our state and our country who come to school that are homeless. Our job is to help them. We have students that are, we have incredibly diverse students that come to school. Our job is to help them know that they belong in that place and to feel great about being there. So we tether out into so many different areas as educators, but it's a combination of state standards and just wanting every single student to feel great about the person that they are. Did I answer your question?
So
Yeah. The politicians, they make me really mad. I'll just share that with you because they have really found their way into our world. And I don't think that many of them know anything about our profession. They are arguing on behalf of constituents that will vote for them unless they feel one way or another about a school district. It's not about things that they know. This push right now for literacy is nothing more than that. Like, I've been blessed to meet Governor DeWine a few times, and the thing that I appreciate about him is he's provided a personal email that he answers. So if I write to him, he will answer, and I appreciate that. So I've had some conversations with him about involving more educators in his decisions and not just relying on something politically in Columbus to drive something for us. And with the parents, our parents are amazing. They're amazing in every school district. They want one thing. They want their kids to have great experiences. So when they're upset at us, I never worry about that. We just talk. They care about their kids. So I do have to have tough conversations with them. They disagree with me from time to time, but there's always a handshake. Rarely has there ever been a moment. I did have one grandfather tell me one time, pounding on my desk, that he wasn't afraid to go to jail. I was a little scared then, but we made it through.
Not sure if you're aware, but we had Brittany and Marty Bach here a couple of weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. And they gave us an insider view of what's taught in the social studies and history department at the Hudson High School. I think it was a fascinating thing. I think it answered a lot of questions that we in our community hear from people. What are they teaching in schools? You know, and how much do our students understand our history and the foundations of our democracy? And they did a fabulous job of giving us an understanding, and I think they blew many of us away. And I think they blew many of us away with the depth of rigor that is involved in what they're teaching and how extremely qualified they are to teach these subjects.
When you're talking about curriculum and things that you're teaching in school, our kids do more. I know they do more than I ever had to do as a student. You know, I had 5 classes. They are so busy. I do believe, quote unquote, our best kids are our busiest kids. But there is a lot required for them. I will say this: when you're thinking about the foundational material that our teachers provide, we're in the middle of a great switch. We're in the middle of an educational revolution right now with AI, and we are seeing this shift from content understanding, like analyzing this poem or knowing, you know, what the third word was in this sentence and putting it down on a piece of paper and memorizing content. And we're getting to skill development. The workforce is telling us, get us kids that have skills. We don't need them to memorize content anymore. We need them to have skills. So you have 2 here that are out working in the world, getting all kinds of skills, including people skills.
Year of learning for you too. I understand that you are a member of the Hudson Leadership
I am.
class. Would you tell us what you're learning about us?
You know, I never tell people that I'm really busy. I think it's an excuse to not get things done. But I thought I was too busy to be in Leadership Hudson. So I went in with hesitation. I felt obligated to do it because of my role. And I have so enjoyed Leadership Hudson. So Leadership Hudson is an organization that you apply for, and it is a group of people. We meet once a month, and it is all about leadership in our town. As an employee here, as a resident here, we have guest speakers. We take field trips. We've met with Dr. Steve Ash twice from the University of Akron. Amazing presentations on leadership and theories. We do activities on leadership. It's growing leadership. And then at the end of the year, we choose one project to benefit the city of Hudson. And we are down to 3. And on March 6th, the final presentations occur, and then we vote which one we are going to do for the town. So they're all super exciting. I guess I can tell you the final 3. Can I? All right. So one of them that we are exploring, we saw a presentation on 3D crosswalks. And so when you're driving, it's a reminder that this is a crosswalk, and it looks as if it will force you to slow down. Let me just say that. It's a great concept. The second idea that really has piqued my interest, I don't know if you know much about the blue zones in our world, but the blue zones are areas of the world where longevity is thriving. There are many centenarians living there. And so there's this deep exploration into what it takes to extend life. And it goes to our food, or it goes to our natural movement, and all of these things. We believe that Hudson could be the first city in Ohio to be a certified blue zone. So we're working on that possibility. And then the third one is, if you've ever seen the Cleveland sign that sits over Lake Erie, Someone in Leadership Hudson is presenting on a Hudson sign, very similar to the Cleveland sign. And that one has garnered a lot of our attention. A lot of us really think that would be a wonderful project. So those are the final three. So Marilyn, thank you for that. It has been a great year of learning.
Thank you. I, for one, I know I've said this before, but all three of my kids were members of the 13-year club. I have two grandkids, one at the middle school and one at Eastwoods now, and two more coming up. Just when I think Hudson can't get any better, the Hudson school system, it gets better. And I thank you, and I thank our board members and our teachers and our students for that, because you do a terrific job, terrific. And I mean that sincerely.
Just a reminder, all the meetings, if the recording works, are put up on the Rotary of Hudson YouTube. So you could see the presentation by our teachers,
Oh, yeah.
or when it's available, the presentation by Dana.
Okay, thank you. Huh? Oh, that's okay. We can go ahead. You can grab it out now. Thanks. Let's see. All right, it's 924-991. Oh, yay, Ralph. Okay. Hold on, Ralph. I'm gonna get the marbles here. Here you go. Your big winnings of $7, and it wasn't written on there how much we have in the big number. Oh, not today, but it's still in there. So congratulations, Ralph. Okay. Don't forget, board members, that we have a meeting next week now because we've changed the date. And if no one has anything else, that's it. Have a great day.